His work, and he carried it out with full passion. He was on his way, on his journey from Damascus, and he had an encounter with a bright light. That light was so bright that it knocked him to the ground and blinded him. And he cried out, and the voice spoke to him, "It's hard to kick against the prick." He said, "Lord, what would you have me to do?" And they led him to Ananias' house. He was blind by the encounter with the bright light. If a man behold a light so bright, it can mess with his retina. It can bring about major damage to the eyes. So he came to Ananias, and Ananias came to him, and he said, "Saul, God has asked me to come to help you." And Ananias, as he ministered to Paul, scales fell from his eyes. My dear brothers and sisters, what are those scales, or where did those scales come from over Paul's eyes? Do y'all talk to God like this? I don't think y'all do. You know, when I read the Bible, I'm just like a little child. I want to know why and how come. I want to know, God, why and how come? Where did them scales come from? If you don't ask, you won't never know. And so, really, that bright light was so bright that his brain recognized he's going to burn out his retina. And he said, "Hey, speed up the skin cells and pile them on top of each other to protect him, to give him a protected barrier against the penetration of the ultraviolet rays." She said, "Boy, how do you come up with that?" Look, if you go out and pick up stones all day long with your little tender, soft hands, what happens? You build calluses. Where it come from? The brain said, build up some skin protection so you won't rub a hole in your hand. Now, I hope you got that. So these scales was a self-protection to keep him from destroying his retina. Now, let me tell you some simple things you can do. If you want to be able to function without wearing glasses, how many like to stop wearing glasses? I'll praise God. All right. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Now, look, I'm doing this as a witness. I'm soon will be 75 years old. I don't need no glasses. I can read that clock from right in the back of that church. You understand what I'm talking about? Now, that don't mean my eyes don't have some problems. They have some problems. I go get me 1 drop of lemon juice in the morning, 1 drop of honey at night. All right? And if that won't do it, I go get me some pine trees and I express some of the pine oil, pine juice out of the leaves, and I put a few drops in my eyes. If that won't do, I go get me some castor oil and I put a few drops of castor oil in my eyes. I'm telling you, God got all kind of ways. I ain't got no castor oil, don't worry about that. Go out there and get you some clay. Put some water in it. Make your eye wash out of it. If that ain't no good, try clay poultice. If that ain't no good, take a grated white potato and put on your eyes. God got a lot of remedies to help you. A lot of ways, okay? I tell you, people, the Lord is gracious to his people. And so, go to John the 9th chapter. There was a man that was born blind. And this man, he sat at the gate and he begged alms all day long. And it had been reported that a great healer was coming to their town. That he had raised the dead and restored the sight to the blind, did a lot of wonderful things, and he thought, I must meet this man. And the whole town came out, the rich, the poor, they all came out in anticipation of meeting a great healer. And Christ tarried. Christ always tarried. Do you know what I'm talking about? Some of you ought to know about the tarrying time. He tarried in order that he could test those that had come out for just the fish and the loaves. They'd come out for just the excitement. That's all. It's just something to do on a nice Sunday afternoon. So Christ tarried and they got weary. He said, where is this man? I waste my Sunday coming out here in this hot sun to see some great musician perform a miracle or something. And where is he? And at the most exhausting time, Christ came. And he stood before the people. And he kneeled it down. He spit in the ground, took his finger, began to play in the spit and the dirt. And these highly educated people said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. This grown man playing in the spit and dirt. I waste my time. People, keep your eyes on Jesus. You see, Jesus can take the simple things of this life and baffle the wisdom of this world. He lifted the spit and clay up from the earth, placed it as a plaster over the man's eyes, told the man to go and wash, which is hydrotherapy, by the way. And as the man washed with the mud on his face, he came to the pool. And as he came, the devil walked with him and said, man, you're the biggest fool I've ever seen in my life. He said, look at you, walking around with mud and spit on your face. That man couldn't heal you. Go home and wash your face. The man said, I've come this far by faith. I'm going to prove this. And he finished the race. He washed and received his sight.